Welcome to my Alaska. If you're new here, I'm Bill and I'm building a homestead on this property. As you can see, we're at the well and we're gonna get some water for the cabin today. I don't have the water plumbed into the cabin yet. I have the lines in, but it's not totally plumbed in over at the cabin. You can jump back a year or so and see the videos of me putting in the well and the water line up to the shed and all that type of stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, jump back. Also, I put in this nice little on-off switch and plug to power the well, so I don't have to run up and throw the breaker in the shed and then come back down and all that type of stuff. This is the first time I've used this well since like last September, and it's currently the second half of April right now, so it's been a long time. I do have iron in the water here, so let's turn this on and let's see what this water looks like. I bet it's gonna be dark red. Wow, look at that. Man, is that dark water or what? Dark red water? Oh man, even darker now. Look at that, that's almost mud. Well, look at how red that water is down there. Holy cow. Coming out clearer now, but it still has a tint to it, a reddish tint. The water is oxidized red a lot more than what I was thinking it would be, so I think I'm just gonna let it run for like an hour and I'll come back. It's been about 40 minutes and you can see the water is running crystal clear now. Let's get these jugs filled up. As you can see, it's still not crystal clear, but it's good enough this time. I think I'm just gonna turn the well on and just let it run for hours today to clear everything out. Like I said, I'll just leave this run for several hours and I'll come back and shut it off later on today. Let's hope I don't have as many issues as the last time I got water with the wheeler. If you haven't seen that video, jump back. I think it was 2 years ago. It might have been last summer, but I had some serious issues when I used the wheeler to get water. If you haven't seen it, definitely jump back and take a look at it. If I remember, I'll leave a link for it up here in the corner. I need to finish one more thing inside. So let's go inside, get that done. Then we can get back outside and do some work outside. I still can't close this window all the way because I got this cable coming through. This is the cable that goes from the Starlink box over to the antenna. In order for me to close the window, I got to bring this cable in to the cabin some other way. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm gonna drill a hole right here down through to the under the cabin, then I can fish the cable up through the floor. And I'm gonna put the Wi-Fi and Starlink controller box right over in this corner somewhere, and I'll plug them both into there. So let's get this done. Sorry about that. I got the hole drilled. Now I need to poke something down through there and see where it comes out through the foam under the cabin and then drill that out. So let's poke something down through there. Okay, let's see if this will work. Okay, it's down hitting the foam. But it's not gonna poke through that hard foam, so I think I need to go outside and do some measurements and figure out exactly where this is going down through and just guess at it. I don't have anything hard enough to poke down through that 2-inch foam board. What I did, I put that tube of lubricant directly over the hole. So I'm gonna use my level and measure straight down where the hole is. So I'll line this up to approximately the center. Then I'll come down here and estimate where the center is. Right there on that line. The other thing I did was I measured in from the inside of the plywood. The center of the hole is exactly 3 inches in from the plywood. And luckily the edge of the foam is on the inside edge of the plywood. Okay, so I think the hole is right about here. Now I'm gonna go inside and try to fish that wire down through and find this hole. So you guys stay here and watch for it to come out the hole and let me know when it does.
One eternity later.
That's not working, so let's try this way. Let me see if I can get just one of these wires up through there. I wonder if that came through. Let's go inside and check. I think it just bent over. Yep, no wire. That's kind of what I assumed. This is turning out to be more difficult than what I thought it would be. Holy cow, check this out. I got it to go down through. So let's go outside. Well, first, let's unplug the Starlink. Put the cable out there, then I can tape the Starlink cable to this wire and pull it up through. I got the wire. Let's get this thing fished up through there. And there it is. So let's pull it up until it's tight. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna mount this like right here in the corner, kind of. So let's get this mounted. Here's the final product. I got the controller box installed, all the extra wires. Right here's the Wi-Fi piece. So now that this is done, we can move on to something else. If you jump back and watch one of my previous videos from not too long ago, I actually got electricity hooked up to the cabin the correct way. Prior to that, I was using extension cords, and I still have my extension cord laying right here. I don't know how well you can see that. Oh, this here, and right there's the one end, and the other end is still laying over here. All right here, and it's strung through the green pipe going up over there. I need to get this pulled out of the green pipe and put away, so let's get this done. The hard part's going to be pulling it all the way through this green pipe. I think I might have to pull the pipe apart and do it in sections. But let's get this done. Here's the other end of the extension cord. So let's pull this through and see how far I can get it anyways. Uh-oh. It's getting all bound up here with this stick and stuff. So let's get this out of here so it'll go through easy. Ah, this is awesome. Got it. I didn't think it was going to come that easy at all. I thought this would get looped up in some of the wires in one of the pipes and get clogged up and stuff, but it came right out, so I'm so happy. Now that we got the extension cord out of the pipe and wrapped up, I just have one thing to say. It's officially construction season. So let's get this stuff out and get ready to start building stuff this summer. I'm gonna try to get my Shelter Logic frame from over there and set up in this general area. So let's see if I can do this by myself. Unfortunately, I can't move it today. The one leg of the Shelter Logic is still frozen into the ground. In a couple days when I can move the Shelter Logic frame, I'm gonna set it right in this area as I mentioned, because right here on this bank, I'm gonna build the chicken coop and have the chicken run out in those few trees and down in there. Another project I'm gonna be working on is building a rabbit hutch. And I'm not sure exactly where the rabbit hutch is going. I'm actually thinking maybe right over there. But I'm not totally positive yet, but that is a good spot for it. Another project is gonna be working over here. I need to build a stand for my generator with a little roof and everything. And finally, I have to do this summer, is put a door on this, an insulated door. So let's get over to the connexes and start getting some of the tools out and set up so I can actually start building. Other than the chicken coop and the rabbit hutch, which are mandatory, the primary project for this summer is getting rid of this dirt hill. You can see how big it is. It's as tall as the shipping containers and probably twice as long and twice as wide. But you'll have to stick with me. It's gonna be a couple months before I start tackling this because the ground is still frozen. In the meantime, let's get over here and get some tools set up. First thing I need to do is make a little bit more room in here so I got some room to work. So I'm gonna take this Delta toolbox out and one of the extension cords. So let's get this done. As you see, I got it loaded up, but only 60% of it fits in the bed of the wheeler. So let's get this taken out and then we can move on to something else. Later on this summer, I have plans to actually attach this job box onto here. And I started a project a year or two ago and I never got around to finishing it, but I do plan on putting some boards in here also. I got a couple holes drilled over there for it, but you know how things go. You start a project and never finish it, but I definitely plan on getting this project done this year. Let's get the job box and at least just set it here. Well, I was afraid of that. It's not gonna work there because the handle for the tongue is way too close. I won't be able to raise it or lower it. But the job box can sit here for the time being. I also got the garden hose out. I'm gonna hook it up. Most nights aren't gonna be below freezing, and if it does, it's only gonna be around 30 degrees. And with the garden hose hooked up, I'll have water over by my cabin, so I won't have to haul jugs back and forth and stuff. So let's get the garden hose hooked up. Actually, I kind of misspoke earlier. The #1 priority is getting water flowing to the cabin. I plan on having that done maybe within the next month or so. But until then, I'm gonna use a garden hose. So let's get this run. I think I'm gonna run the garden hose. Normally I just run it like straight over that way. But if I do anything, it's gonna be in the way. So I think this year I'm gonna run it down this way and then up around. I know I said I was gonna dig out the tools and get ready for construction season. I am really excited for it. However, I'm gonna hold off. Tomorrow I gotta run into town, do some business and stuff down there. But on Tuesday, the shelter logic should be thawed out. That one leg that's still frozen in the ground should be thawed out, and I'll be able to move it. Then I'll just dig everything out at that time and put it in the shelter logic. So right now, I'm just gonna close up my shipping containers and call it an evening. One thing I do need to get out of here is the Mosquito Magnet. Unfortunately, they are back out already this year, so let's get this out and I'll get it hooked up here in a day or two. This is a mosquito magnet. You hook up a propane bottle there and it emits propane out, and the mosquitoes fly up in that black and get trapped in this little mesh bag here. I'll get this hooked up here in a day or two. Well, folks, unfortunately, it's like a week later and I'm just getting back to this. I caught a little bit of a cold, and right at the same time, the weather pattern changed and it dropped by 10-15 degrees and was cloudy, overcast, rainy, all that for the last like 5 days. So I didn't want the cold to get any worse, so I just basically stayed in, stayed warm, stayed dried, got lots of sleep, stuff like that. I'm feeling a lot better today, so let's get back at it. I need to move that shelter logic. I was gonna put it right there, but I forgot. If I have company coming up, which I'm supposed to at least have one person come up with a camper, they're gonna need to connect into my septic, so they're gonna be parking right in that area. So I'm gonna put the shelter logic back here where it was last summer. So let's get this thing moved. That's where it's gonna sit this summer. This is the last summer for the shelter logic. It's starting to tear and things like that. And I got plans for it also after this summer. So this is the last summer for the shelter logic. I plan on putting it to a lot of good use this summer, especially if it's raining. We got this in place. We need to go and get the outer cover for it and try to get that put on. I forgot I need straps for in the ends of the tarp that I just put up to cinch it down tight so it doesn't fly off. Totally forgot I needed those. I don't have a clue where they are right now. Let's hope I can find them. Wow, it's been like 2 or 3 hours since I put the tarp on the frame over there. I've been looking for these straps the whole time. These straps are what holds the tarp on the frame. I could not find them. I searched everywhere and just could not find them. I actually gave up, thought I threw them away last year. Luckily, I decided to look behind the shop vac and the one Connex, and there they were on the floor. Let's get this tarp on the frame where it's supposed to now. I definitely screwed up last fall. When I took this tarp off, I should have left this cord inside the little seam that they have here. But since I took it out, now what I did to get it back in is I wrapped it a couple times around this pencil and taped it off. So I gotta stick it in, push the tarp down, then pull the pencil up and stuff like that. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, but let's get this done. Now they got it, finally. Now I can take this off. I'll catch back up with you guys once I'm done with the other side. I got the shoulder logic all set up. I do need to bring a couple things over for inside of it. I do have my sawhorses already inside, but I'm gonna do something else here right now. Throughout the whole summer, I'm gonna be doing cleanup around the property, but right now, I wanna get all this cleaned up. Eventually, I'll get these tires out of here also. I'm taking all this stuff over to the 2 Connexes over there, and when I come back, I'm gonna bring my radio arm saw and get it set up. I put this stuff here last fall. I don't even remember what I put under the tarp. Let's take the tarp off and see what's there. Looks like got some old paint, my stakes, and a couple miscellaneous flower pot stuff. Well, that didn't work out good for this handle. Let me know in the comments, can paint freeze and be left outside all winter long and still be good? I'd hate to throw this out. This is probably 3 or 4 gallons of paint in there. Couple small cans of paint. I've actually been looking for this to do an oil change. I wondered where these went to. I cut these for a project I need to get to this summer. I've been saving these to floor the chicken coop with them. I don't know if I will or not. I don't think there's enough here, but I'll save them this summer. I brought all that other stuff over and just kind of unloaded it in there. I need to rearrange that whole thing so it's organized for next winter. I have the DeWalt radial arm saw loaded up. Let's get it over to the tent. I got the miter saw stand here. I decided just to carry it because it's so long. I know it would just fall out of the wheeler. So let's carry this over and get it set up. Thought I was done, but I guess I don't have this side all the way in. Okay, it's in now. Thanks everyone. I'm gonna wrap up this video now. Stay tuned. There's a lot of construction gonna happen on this homestead this summer. Also, a lot of Alaskan adventures gonna happen, so stick with me and see what I do.